And so this is kind of a great example of what, kind of that moment where you're 50 feet up, where people can look about this as something that's, a lot of people are potentially going to die and it's dangerous and all that. And this is where they could practice focusing and going against all their normal reactions from thousands of years of programming, which is to retreat and contract and be in fear, and to try to practice being, I think as you call it in the past, the generous present moment, and trying to focus on the gratitude and the love. And this is some of the things you've been teaching people lately, some of these meditations that allow them to do that. Is that right?
Sure. I mean, in my response to creating a greater level of awareness for people, I ran right down to the studio and said, okay, let's cut 2 meditations. Let's create a meditation for people before they go to sleep at night. The last thing they do is to get in touch with elevated emotions and allow the understanding that if the environment signals the gene, and it does, and the end product of an experience in your environment is an emotion, that when you start embracing elevated emotions, your body is so objective. It's the unconscious mind. It does not know the difference between the actual event that's creating that emotion and the emotion that you're fabricating by thought alone. So the body is believing it's living in a new environment, and in fact, you are signaling the gene ahead of the environment, and your inner environment of your body is getting that chemical, that's oxytocin and dopamine and vasopressin and all the wonderful chemicals, nitric oxide, are causing energy to move into your heart, and it's time to repair. And your body gets that signal. It's going to make sense that if you practice this, you're strengthening your inner army. By the same means, this center where our adrenals are, people think it's a bad center, and it's not. It's your center where you willfully empower outcomes in your life, and you want to activate this center and create some energy, and then move that energy into your heart, and then understand that you can empower the power within, and in practicing that every day and feeling empowered and feeling strength and feeling invincible and feeling an uncompromising will. You don't think that those chemicals have an influence on your body, but if people have been conditioned and hypnotized into believing that something in their outer world has to change their inner world, whether it's a substance, whether it's a product, whether it's something you consume or you buy, or some government or some whatever it is. If you're waiting for something out there to change your inner state, and you've been conditioned and programmed your whole entire life that you need something out there to change how you feel in here, then when situations get a little bit challenging and there's nothing out there that's going to change that feeling inside of you, this is game time now. This is the moment you realize, I'm going to have to change my inner state independent of the conditions in my outer environment, and understand that there's science to actually show that you can. So some people would say, well, I'm just going to wait for this, or I'm going to wait for that. Well, those are the people that spend their whole life in separation and lack, waiting for their environment to change to feel gratitude. We're saying, once you understand the what and the why, then the next question is, why don't you do it? Why not have the experience and understand the how? So if the research is there, and not only the evidence that we have in all of the scientific tests that we've done with common people, but there's testimony. There are people that have healed themselves of crazy, crazy health conditions that show us that there is a new consciousness emerging. It is that 4-minute mile where you pierce through a layer of consciousness that is human limitation. And now all of a sudden, just like the 4-minute mile being broken, this is a new consciousness. People are healing from stage 4 cancers. They're healing from all different kind of health conditions, because every day they assign meaning to what they're doing. They're in the game, and every moment matters for them. They're overcoming, and every time they overcome, they're starting to become somebody else. And yeah, it's not easy all the time. I can tell you that from experience. But I don't know any other alternative that's going to empower people to realize how powerful they really are. So I want to create meditations that are important for people in this time, whether it's empowering the power within or falling into love with your body. I want people not to just do it mindlessly. I want them to understand when they do that and why they do that, is going to help them to understand how to surrender to the process and understand that they become more unlimited as a result of it.